1, 2, 3. Today is April 28th, 2020. I'm going to do, my neighbor, I'm going to do a quick Hobbit Garden update. I hope you enjoy it. Again, let me reiterate that this hydroxychloroquine with zinc has been doing wonders around the world. Honduras was called the president and was thanking him for that cure. They've been having tremendous success. Costa Rica has been using that, and they have had a tremendous success and a very low death toll is what I understand. But there's a lot of reports, and then there's an amazing attack against it. It would appear that there really is a deep state, and that there's somebody in the deep state who does not want this pandemic to pass without a lot of death. That's what my takeaway is. And anyway, don't if you need it, make sure you get your doctors to give you that, because it is doing miracles around the world. Anyway, a lot of news out there on that. If anyone needs me to link some stories on that, I will. But it's amazing. It's amazing the garbage science that I think Virginia did a hit job on it. And then when people analyzed what they did, it was just garbage. It was a garbage study with the VA. Anyway, there's people who can talk about it much better than me. Okay, so I'm going to that'll be enough on that. So here we go. Oh man, my back's doing better. If you prayed for me, I want to thank you. If you didn't pray for me, that's fine too. But I ended up finding a stretch on YouTube for my lower back after one tremendously bad night, and that seemed to help. And slowly, I'm doing better and better. And it seems that as I work in the garden, I'm able to do better and better. I'm not 100% by no means, but I'm happy. I'm happy that it's getting better. Okay, here, let me talk to you about what's going on in the greenhouse, and we'll go from there. Now, it may seem just as crowded in the greenhouse as it had, but I had plants still inside. In fact, I still have plants on the back porch, and I also potted up a lot of little peppers, about 20 or plus. And look, I still have another, that looks like about 15 or so. These are little yellow and orange bell peppers. But I also potted up, you see that? So I've been potting up, and also I've potted up some thyme. Remember when I took apart my thyme plant? I took clippings, and I've been soaking them here. Let me get this one out. Can you see that? Hopefully I've got my... And these have been in there for some time, but look. Can you see those roots? So there's probably at least 5 or 6 plus plants in this little cup that need to be potted up into soil, because the roots are already forming. What you do is you take a clipping, and look, these clippings are even going to flower. So anyway, so this, we'll see. Now, thyme is a pretty hardy plant. It overwinters. So I'm hoping to get a whole bunch of little thyme plants. I already gave 4 little, because I didn't know if they would survive. I gave them 4 little cups of thyme, the roots in the bottom of expanding. So, when you pot them up, they don't always take. But they should, I guess. Anyway, I'm not an expert on that. And also, those little peppers, I had somebody stop by and was admiring my garden, and a regular Rohan rider, I'm going to call her, And since she was interested in, I gave her a few plants. And looking here, it looks like I didn't give anything away. But I have been potting out some things. And I have some marigolds. I planted out, 6 of them, but it looks like I have about 10 or 12 ready to be planted out. And I'll show you what I've been doing. Here, I wanted to show you guys these little, where are they? Here we are. You see this? Can you see that? A peach tree. The squirrels, of course, I didn't really get any peaches from my peach tree last year. What happened was the squirrels came and ate them all and threw all the seeds right at the base of the tree. Well, some of the seeds are sprouting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right here, 4 little peach trees. I gave one away, and I have a few more around. And look at this. This is apple. You can see how the apple was sprouting away from the tree. So I'm going to try and cut this up. I've got it soaking in water, and I'm going to see if I can get some apple trees started from these cuttings, or I don't know, sprouts. This was sprouting in the ground. Oh, and here, that's a peach tree. I can't. Anyway, it's amazing. So I came out and I was finding all these peach trees. I was trying to plant tomatoes. Here, let me show you around. And the basil looks good. I gave away a little bit of basil and peppers, and I'm waiting a couple of weeks to plant out my peppers. Evidently, I read a guide that said 4 weeks after last frost date. I'll probably at the beginning of May plant them. But anyway, I'm waiting. I'm trying to wait another week before I plant them out. Peppers like hot weather, and so do watermelon. But I think you can plant some melons. Anyway, I'm slowly. So that's kind of what that looks like. There's still a lot down at the bottom. It looks like I haven't been planting, but I have. Here, let me show you what's happening. Of course, I haven't done much here. Maybe cleaned a little bit. Let's walk around. Now, I showed you this last week, and look at that. They look so happy. Last night we had about 1.5 inches of rain, I guess. And now that the sun's out, the plants look happy. Now look, you see all this corn that's all coming up. This is my greenhouse. This are my nursery spot. So I'm going to dig up this corn and transplant it. And I should do that tomorrow, Lord willing. I'm a little bit tired today. I've been pretty active. And look, there's a couple little trees up, but one of those is, you see that one? That's a cherry tree. So I'm going to transplant this cherry tree, and then the other one I'll just throw away, that little, I think it's whatever it is. I can't think of the name of it. So garlic looking nice. Peas looking great. Oh, looks like the wind has blown those over a little bit. They're supposed to grab a hold of the fencing and go vertical. So we'll see. I may have to help them. Now, I did plant out some tomatoes. They don't look so happy, but I did. All of these tomato plants have been these are new plants, and I left some of the old plants right next to them just in case they came back. So, and some of these guys don't look so happy, but these are all new tomato plants. Looks like they're struggling still. We'll see what happens. Give them a... So, that's kind of what's happening here. So that's a lot of tomato plants. And the onions, they look like they're doing pretty good. Now this overwintered right here, this garlic and some onions in here. And then the little onions I just planted, a month ago or so. So what do we have here? Some rutabagas. And over here, a couple of rutabagas. You see 1, 2, 3, 4 rutabagas here. And Brussels sprouts. Some of these are Brussels sprouts. And something else. So a dill plant, it looks like it's going to make it, Lord willing. Now look at these potatoes. Now I have stopped mounding these. I don't know if I'm going to mound them anymore, but look, they're really popping through now. They look real happy. And even over here, these potatoes are popping through. And those two look real good. This one in here, kind of scraggly looking. Just one little pop through. Now this is where I had all my peaches. I was coming over here to clean, plant a few peas, and then come through. So I planted some more peas on this side of the fence, and then I came through and planted these tomatoes today. And this is actually very nice mustard, and I haven't been taking from it, but the other one I have been. So you can see how tight that is in there. But right here, I don't know, I dug up a whole bunch of dandelions, and then, like, you can see that one. You see them? There's a little peach tree. So if people want peach trees, I've got little ones to give you. It'll take a few years. And look, you can see that the pole beans, these are Blue Lake, are starting. I've got a number of them sprouting here. So I like to see that. Here, let's go through here real quick. And look, that lettuce is coming on. I really need to plant these out and spread them out. These are really dense, some of these plants. This one I just potted up. It was coming up in the middle of my garden. But that's a, iceberg, I think. No, it's a butter crunch. That's it, butter crunch lettuce. And that's my favorite. I like that lettuce. So you can see these guys are coming on. These had been in the house until just today I brought them out. And you can see that my nasturtium, oh, here. You see that? Apple tree. I'm hoping that this takes off. So I've got a couple little clippings, or actually the roots I dug up from around the apple tree. And I'm hoping it takes off. So, and a couple more peach trees. Look at that. I'll put these in a little larger container. So a couple, three, and another apple tree. We'll see if they make it. And look at that. That chocolate mint is looking gorgeous. And I actually cut about 12 or 15 of the tops this week for use, I think, in tea and cooking. And it's popped right back up. Actually, I think it helped it. So I need to come out and cut the tops again. But that's looking beautiful. Wow. Here, let's look out front. Or no, I didn't look out here with you. And now look at these potatoes. Look at them take off. They are just jumping up. And now this mustard plant, look at that. I have ravaged it. You can see I've been cutting it and taking leaves. I've been cooking with it. Just chop it up and microwave it in with rice and stuff. But anyway, so I've been eating some of that mustard the last few days, and I'm glad about that. I don't need the mustard seed. So, I mean, the flowers are going to seed. So here we have, looks like a zucchini I planted in among a few garlic and one curly mustard on that side. You see that? And I planted a few cucumbers. I pray they make it. So I got a few cucumbers here. I need to plant more. I don't think I have that many more cucumbers sprouted. Oh, I do have one in there. So we'll see how this all goes. I'm wanting a lot of cucumbers out here. And you can see the onions. They're doing fair, but they're kind of planted in mulch, not into the dirt. So I think that is hindering it a little bit. Now these onions over here that are planted into the dirt, they're twice as big. So this is a yellow squash called a summer squash. And then I replanted this tomato. Now these tomatoes out here look a little bit happier. doing better. So you can see the onions. Now these onions here, I planted at the same time as over there. You can see how small they are over here, but here, they're double to triple the size to me. There's a lot more onion here. So that's going to be nice to see what happens. Now I came through, I planted a tomato, and then in between tomatoes I planted something. So this one here, it looks like a summer squash. That one there is zucchini, so yellow squash, green squash. That looks like a butternut. So it looks like I put a butternut squash here. And you can see the marigold and nasturtium, that little flower there. That's a beautiful little flower. You can also eat everything on it. So another, and there's a little cucumber plant. I hope it makes it. It's looking kind of pathetic. And then here's another, I think that is the zucchini. And that one says summer squash. So I've planted a number of squashes, and then these over here, there's 5 of them now. They're butternut squash. And the idea is that they'll go up the cages and all around. We'll see how that works. So, and here I have that vine. Now I am, last year I never saw any fruit on it. So if this year, if it doesn't produce grapes, if it's a, you know, a wild vine and not a grapevine, boy, I'm gonna, well, I won't be happy. I may just dig it out if that's the case. But evidently vines may take a couple years before they produce fruit. So I'm a little foggy on that. But it looks like it wants to start off. Okay, this is the front. And oh, look at that. That's a nice deal. Look, it's really coming on. And then I came out and planted another nasturtium here. And I don't know if that nasturtium's coming back, but there's some green on it. So maybe it'll live. We'll see. Okay. So here we are in the backyard. You can see the chocolate mint is starting to take off. I actually dug up some of this chocolate mint over here to give away today to a lady. And hopefully it'll be a blessing to her. But you can see this is slowly, it's looking pretty nice. And I should probably come and trim some of this. It seems like it helps it if you cut back the tops every now and then. So I did go ahead and plant some cucumbers back here today. That's what they're looking like now. It has had a lot of rain, a few warm days, and I think these guys will take off, Lord willing. Now I haven't planted anything in the middle here. I'll probably plant maybe some of my peppers, my bell peppers. I have a lot of peppers, but I'm waiting. I need to wait. And you can see the little helicopters on the ground that are starting to come down. That's one thing the trees love to give me, is thousands of those. So a few cucumbers planted here. We'll see how they do. I pray they all take off. Now, the garden, actually I was out here this morning working on this. I was rearranging this bed. I changed it 90 degrees so that I wanted it a little bit wider, because I'm going to do an arch from this bed to that bed. And then I'll be able to walk through right here. I'll walk in between. The arch will go from there across like that arch over there. I'll have it right here. I have the well, you can't really see it, but it's back there. I have a panel ready to put here. So this morning I was out here cleaning like crazy. A lot of digging up a lot of dandelions, and then trying to get these beds in order, and we'll see how that goes. So this one still needs a little bit of cleaning, but I did a lot of cleaning here. And of course you can see how that one's all beat up. So this, in fact, I was hoping to do this today. Maybe I will later on, but maybe I won't. I mean, I've done pretty good today actually already. And now with this update, now some, I want to say oregano. Yeah, that is right. So you see the oregano coming back. This is like the 3rd year, or maybe it's the 4th year it's come back for me. And I had some oregano hop out of the bed, because oregano likes to expand, and it was right over there, and I dug it up and gave it away to, I'm calling her the Rowan Rider. So anyway, the Riders of Rohan. So now this is where I had all those mushrooms I've been finding in here, but looks like I don't have any right now. So I've been cleaning this up. It still looks kind of like a mess, but it was really quite something. So I must have dug up, oh look, so this is a cherry tree. So that's 2 cherry trees that I'm going to transplant. I was throwing my cherry pits here and there hoping to get cherry trees. And look, there's a dandelion I did not dig up, but I must have dug up 30, 40, 50 dandelions. I had a 5-gallon bucket full. And so I got a whole bunch of dandelions to wash. Well, I washed them up. I need to cut them up and maybe clean them a little bit more, but I used the dandelion. Oh, you see this? There's a potato in there. I found a potato that was growing on its own in this bed. Last year I had potatoes in this bed over here. And so as I was cleaning, I found a potato coming up. And so I transplanted the potato. I dug it up and I put it in that bucket. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see if it gives me a lot of potatoes. So this is what the back is looking like. I'm going to have peppers up over there, like I said. These 2 beds with the arch should be watermelon. And we'll see how that goes. Now, this foundation, I think I'm going to move back over that way. So I've got a lot of work here. Anyway, we'll see. This may be my folly, but anyway, it's going to be a little greenhouse if I get it done, Lord willing. And it would be nice to have more room. But truthfully, my little greenhouse in the front yard is a big blessing. But I kind of use my house itself as a greenhouse. So I have not tackled any of these branches yet. But I'm going to chip these all up and use that. Here, we can walk back here. I haven't really done any work in the back, but I'll show you what it's looking like. I've got some leaves that I can use. And I think, you know where all that corn? After I may bring out some corn and plant it back here along the fence. And plant some squash, maybe at the foot of the corn to kind of keep down the weeds. So you can see I haven't been mowing back here yet, but I will soon enough. But you know, there for a number of days it was quite touch and go just to be able to move, but my back is feeling really nice compared to what it was. And as you can see, I'm walking. So here, squash, I think, corn, pumpkins. This is what I'm hoping to do along this fence, Lord willing. This will be kind of on its own back here, though. So we'll see. And I have not been working anymore, pushing back the vines and the bushes. But that is part of the goal, is to clean that, at least these bushes here. And it'll happen, Lord willing. And then these leaves I will use to suppress weeds and stuff around whatever I plant, Lord, I think. And then I don't know what I'm going to plant in here, but this can be a little garden also. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this garden update. I hope you guys are doing well wherever you're at. It looks like America is going to be opening up again for business, which is fantastic. It looks, in California, they have been saying that this virus has hit a lot more people than what they think, and there are actually very few deaths compared to how many people are actually infected with the virus. And so that's good. So anyway, it looks like heat kills the virus, humidity kills the virus. So I don't know if rain it inactivates it. I don't know if the rain will inactivate virus, but if it says humidity of 40 and above, so inactivates this virus. Sunlight, direct sunlight takes out the virus. 2 minutes in the sun kills half of the virus. You know, the half-life is 2 minutes if it's direct sunlight. And I think the temperature, at least for the humidity, needs to be around at least above 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So it sounds like people need to be sunbathing every 10 minutes. Actually, in 10 minutes, 90% of the virus is dead. So you need to go 10 minutes on your front and then flip over, 10 minutes on your back, and then do that again. So the beach. It sounds like going to the beach and going swimming will do more for taking care of the virus around you than anything else. So a lot of the things that governors have been making people do is actually detrimental. It's actually more dangerous to stay in your house. You need to be outside and in the sunlight. They're now coming out that inside is actually the worst thing can be done, because the virus does not die and builds up a bit inside, it sounds like. So, of course, we always knew this. Sunlight is always, you know, the vitamin D always helps you. So again, vitamin C, eat foods with high zinc. That means all of your spices, all your herbs. You could look that up online, but there's a lot of zinc in those things. So add those to your diet. And, you know, tonic water, at least for me. I'm taking some tonic water because of the quinine in the tonic water, which will help you. What happens is the hydroxychloroquine or the quinine makes a bridge for the zinc to come into the cell to destabilize the virus, so it can't replicate. That's it. That's what the hydroxychloroquine does. It makes a gap. It makes a gap so that the good zinc can come in and beat up this virus. It's that simple. Okay, love you guys. Stay healthy. Bye-bye. P.S. Now, I make a garden tea in this container. Here, let me show you. I put in here the dandelions, and then add some water. But I just let them anaerobically digest, and then I will take the water off. It'll be high in nutrients and high in phosphorus. And then you dilute that down, a cup to maybe a gallon, something like that. And then you add that to your plants later on. So I'll let this, well, they've been digesting here all winter. But I just added all those dandelion tops. I don't like to eat them. And I'm also throwing in the seeds. There's helicopter seeds, because seeds are high in nutrients. So I'm throwing those in there. I need to stir it up and get it down, but anyway, another time. So I'll siphon that off somehow, and then I will dilute it down, at least 16 to 1, something like that. PSS, these are the dandelion roots that I dug up today, and what I'll do is I will clean them a little bit more, and then I will cut them up into pieces, and I put them in with my tea. It's supposed to be real effective in taking out cancer cells. Anyway, they're very high in nutrients.